Due to the nature of there only being 20 seats in Formula 1, we've become used to seeing drivers come and go year on year. Whether it be rising stars or returning talent, it's no secret that the driver market can be chaotic. So today we're going over 5 drivers on our current grid who may be at risk of losing their seat on the Formula 1 grid at the end of this year, or potentially even earlier. Nicholas Latifi. No matter how nice he is off the track, when it comes down to it, Latifi is a pure pay driver. Having joined Williams in 2020 with the backing of his billionaire dad and his businesses, it came at a time where the Williams team were really at a crisis point, which eventually led to them selling to Dalton Capital later in that season. Over the years, Nicholas has done very little to impress, getting dominated by both teammates George Russell and Alex Albon. He's also made a bit of a habit of crashing, as we saw in Australia, Jeddah, Monaco and Abu Dhabi last year. This inconsistency and general lack of pace has led to rumours that he may be dropped by the team, even midway through this season, and replaced by either Alpine reserve driver Oscar Piastri or reigning Formula E world champion Nick de Vries, who even took the Williams for a spin in FP1 in Spain. Former Williams driver Ralf Schumacher chimed in on the rumours himself, saying, "Investors at Williams prefer a strong driver who can be more consistent and bring in better results. And with Williams not having the desperate need for cash as much as they did in 2020, these rumours are very much believable." So whether it be Piastri or de Vries, one thing's for sure, Latifi needs to up his game if he wants to stay in Formula 1. Daniel Ricciardo. Last year, race winner. This year so far, only one top 10 finish. It's safe to say Ricciardo's having a slightly less than ideal season thus far. Ever since joining McLaren in 2021, it seemed like Ricciardo's never got to the point where he was happy and delivering on a regular basis, as Lando outperformed him massively over the course of the year, and without that win at Monza, there would be very few highlights for the Aussie. In 2022, Daniel's woes seem to have worsened, and McLaren CEO Zak Brown may be running out of patience, as he came out admitting that Ricciardo has not met expectations. Danny Ric then did his best to make up for this by crashing in FP1 at Monaco before qualifying 14th while Lando sat 5th. If I'm Zak Brown at that point, I'll be a bit disappointed as well, I can't lie. Although Ricciardo's deal does run until the end of 2023, Brown also revealed that there are mechanisms in place should they or Ricciardo want to end his contract earlier than that. This, paired with the team's interest in IndyCar star Colton Herta, means that the pressure really is on Daniel to perform now or risk getting the boot. With 1997 world champion Jacques Villeneuve simply putting it, he has been a highly paid driver who has cost the team a lot of money. He doesn't bring in any points, and he doesn't have the speed the team needs to develop the car. It would be cheaper for them to continue paying Ricciardo's salary, let him sit on the couch at home and put another driver in the car. Brutal, but that's F1. Number 3, Mick Schumacher. Mick loves a crash. Monaco, Jeddah, Miami, and with Haas F1 being one of, if not the poorest team on the grid, all this crashing can't be going down well. In fact, after Monaco's shunt, team boss Gunther Steiner admitted, "It's not very satisfactory having a big crash again. We need to see how we can move forward from here." And you can understand his frustration, as the Jeddah crash alone cost 750k in damages, and that's on top of the 4 million Haas spent on mixed crashes last year as well. Now there's obviously no doubt that Schumacher is talented, I mean look at his junior career, but during his time in F1 he hasn't really stood out, especially this season up against Kevin Magnussen, who came in on just a week's notice to take over Mazepin's driving the team, and has scored over 15 points already, whilst Mick is yet to score any. If when he wasn't crashing Mick was right up there with his teammate, battling for points week in, week out, I don't think we'd all be as concerned. But this mix of underperforming and costing the team a lot of money isn't good for Mick Schumacher. Combine this with the growing US market for the sport and Haas being the only US team on the grid, there is always the risk of them wanting to bring in a driver from the States if the opportunity arose itself. So watch your back, Mick, and for the love of all things holy, please stop crashing. Number 4, Shouguang Yu. China's first ever F1 driver has definitely performed better than expected, scoring points in his debut in Bahrain. Yet since then it's been much more of a difficult season for him, whilst teammate Bottas has been excelling. Now it's no secret that Zhou got his seat in the sport thanks to money, and to put it simply and save the waffle, that money can only go so far. If he can't start performing better and prove to everyone at both Alfa Romeo and beyond that he deserves a seat in F1, he really is at risk of losing it, especially with Sauber Junior driver Teo Porcher fighting for the title in Formula 2, and it's likely he'll have his eyes on Zhou's side of the garage for next year if he was to win it. Saying this though, Alpha team boss Frederick Vasseur has been defensive of his driver and all the negative comments around him, saying what we have to keep in mind is that Zhou did a good job in F2. He's got some pole positions, he won some of the best races, and when you're able to win in Bahrain or Silverstone, it's not by chance, and Zhou's approach is the right one. He is totally invested, totally dedicated, he works very hard, and in F1 this approach is part of the job and becomes more and more important. So who knows, maybe Alpha will keep him on for 2023, but either way, he is definitely at risk. Last but not least, we have Gasly, 2020 Monza race winner, and to many fans, he has really been the king of overperforming in the midfield for the past 2 seasons or so. However, 2022 has not been so kind to the Frenchman, as he sits on just 6 points after 7 races. Compared that to last season, Pierre already had a podium by now. Now, whether it be bad luck or reliability, it's just not been Gasly's year so far, which isn't ideal considering his contract ends this season. Now, AlphaTauri is of course Red Bull's junior team, existing so they can develop their young talent in F1 and allow them to prove that they can perform at the highest level of motorsport. Gasly's been at the team since the end of 2017, only leaving for a brief 12-race stint at Red Bull in 2019 before being demoted back down due to poor performance. And he now sits in a very weird spot in his career. As Red Bull seem content with Max and Checo, there's nowhere for Gasly really to go. He could stay at Alpha, but now being 26 and Red Bull having countless junior drivers waiting for their shot in F1, many feel like this could finally be the time for Gasly to leave and make his mark somewhere else. He even said himself that, at the end of the day, I also need to look at my own career and what's best for me. What will give me the most chances to achieve my personal goals, which is to be the world champion over the next few years. This one may be a case of Gasly leaving the team and not so much AlphaTauri dropping him, but in all honesty it might be a little bit more like jumping before you're pushed. As like I said, Red Bull have a ton of junior drivers waiting for their shot in F1, and having that seat in AlphaTauri free up really could be for the best. So if Gasly can't find a drive elsewhere for 2023, he may genuinely be at risk of dropping out of Formula 1, but I guess only time will tell. So be sure to let us know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think Gasly or any of the other drivers on this list are actually at risk of losing their seat this year? Or am I, as I often do, just talking absolute waffle? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. But until next time guys, thank you very much for watching, stay safe, goodbye.